Yo, what is going on, you guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the top 5 Legion champions that you should make in Maplestory. Now, this list is of course subjective depending on the person, but objectively, all 5 of these classes on this list are extremely good and very strong with great kits. So first things first, let's just talk about what a Legion champion even is. This is a new end game system, and essentially what you're getting from this new end game system is boss stats: 30 boss damage, 15% crit damage, 30 attack, 30 all set, and 30 ID at the maximum level. Now, to start a Union champion, you have to have 8k Legion, and you can use 6 characters as your Union champions. The characters have to be above level 260, and to get the stats we talked about earlier, you have to solo bosses that range from hard lotus, hard Vihilla, hard black mage, hard seren, and then all the way to normal kalos. Now, normal kalos definitely seems like a stretch. I will not be doing that. I would not recommend anybody to make normal kalos mules. I mean, that's just absolutely ridiculous. We don't know which bosses give what. From what I've heard, kalos gives ID, but again, that is all speculation. We don't know which bosses are going to give what stats, so that is still up for interpretation. Whenever that comes out, we'll know. But this list is mainly going to be focusing on potentially getting characters up to hard seren. Now, again, this is an end game system, and this is going to take a very long time, so I would not try to brute force your way. I would take this slow and steady. But let's talk about 5 characters I would recommend to make to potentially put on your Legion champion roster. Coming in at number 5 on this list, I have Marksman. Now, this class just got extreme buffs. This is a 2-minute class. It is very easy to play. Marksman also benefits from attack speed 0 in GMS, making it even better. The damage output currently on this class is super strong. It has a very easy to get off burst. You literally just pop your cooldowns, bind the burst, get your cartridges off in the first 10 seconds, and then you literally just have a lingering burst for the next minute. Super easy to play. I actually currently have a Marksman hard lotus mule. This class is super strong. It's full 17 stars and it's doing hard lotus in like 10 minutes currently. This class also has an iframe. Now, the iframe is definitely not its shining point, given that you're going to be using this for damage and not to dodge attacks. But if the damage and kit isn't enough to convince you to play this class for a potential Legion champion, the dummy definitely will. If you guys are unaware, Marksman actually has a dummy that lures the boss wherever you put it down. This dummy is absolutely amazing, and it does in fact work on hard seren, which is going to make hard seren an absolute breeze. It works on Vihilla. It works on the bosses that you need to kill for this champion burn. It does not work on lotus, but if you're going to be making a champion burn, hard lotus is going to be extremely free. This dummy is absolutely amazing. It is so good. It makes the boss super brain dead, super free, and that's such an important part when making a champion burn. You don't want to have to think very much when you're doing these bosses. You're going to want it to be as easy and free as possible, and that dummy does exactly just that. Now, one con that I think this class has is its origin isn't very strong, and when it comes to these champion burns, you definitely want a class that has a high strong hitting origin, because you're not going to want to farm a 6 job on these characters. You're honestly just going to want to unlock the masteries and the origin, and that's it. Number 4 on this list, I have Demon Slayer. This is also a 2-minute class. This damage output on Demon Slayer is very high, and this class also has a massive hitting origin. Very good, especially at level 1. This class shreds. The burst is actually super easy to get off as well. Your iframe for the entire burst on this class. And one thing to keep in mind when thinking about champion burns, this is only solo bossing, so it doesn't matter about the training. It doesn't matter about the party bossing, because overall your main goal is how fast can you solo these endgame bosses. But getting back to Demon Slayer, Also has an amazing kit with multiple iframes. Now, I just said that training isn't something to take into account, but Demon Slayer has extremely brain dead training, and even after you're done making this a potential champion burn, you can actually use this as a future familiar farmer, so you're hitting 2 birds with 1 stone. The mobility on this class is actually really good as well. It has a glide. Obviously, you can up jump into the glide. And overall, Demon Slayer is a very solid pick. Now, next up on this list, Wind Archer. Wind Archer just recently got a massive buff. This class is once again a 2-minute class, and I think a common trend that we're going to see on this list is a ton of 2-minute classes. The more you can burst, the more damage you're doing, the faster the bosses are. Wind Archer is a very solid pickup for a Legion champion. Like I said, this is a strong 2-minute burst, but also has a pretty decent DPM and mini burst as well that pair very nicely with this class, making it a strong DPM but also heavy burst class. Also has very good survivability. Once again, another common trend that we're going to be seeing. Classes that have strong burst and great survivability. This class has Gale Barrier, which essentially negates all damage taken 300% of your HP. Correct me if I'm wrong. Along with great survivability, this class also has phenomenal movement as well. With Wind Walk, you can now move while you're in the hurricane as well, which was such an amazing quality of life. Once again, I have a Wind Archer hard lotus boss meal right now, and it absolutely shreds the boss. I have such a easy time playing this class every single week. Super easy to learn. There's a low barrier to entry and not that high of a ceiling on this class, so any player that has any basic game knowledge will be able to pick this class up and play it at a pretty high level. Now, one of the greatest things about this class for a Legion champion is, once again, it has the placeable dummy that is going to lure the boss. So you can essentially put the dummy in the corner, the boss will go chase the dummy, and you pretty much just hit the boss non-stop, and you get to negate all boss mechanics, making this a S tier Legion champion. Now, for the number 2 spot, we are switching it up with a 3-minute class. We actually have Ilium on this list. Now, this class is definitely a little bit harder to learn than the rest of the classes on this list for sure, but the damage output is definitely worth learning, especially as a Legion champion. This class has insane uptime on bosses. The damage output is absolutely phenomenal. It shreds. It's one of the strongest classes in GMS currently. It has amazing movement. You can fly around the maps. You can dodge stuff with ease. It also has a built-in teleport. The barrier to entry is definitely a lot harder than other classes for sure. It's an unorthodox class. It's not like other class playstyles for sure, but once again, it is worth learning the playstyle. It really seems like this class is non-stop bursting. It has some of the fastest boss clears in GMS right now with the lowest amount of gear. Also has iframes as well. Has a 10-second iframe every 3-minute burst. Phenomenal class. Ilium coming in at that number 2 spot. Now, number 1 on this list is still Notorious. I think this class is still the best champion burn. I think Nightwalker comes in at the number 1 spot. Now, why I say Nightwalker is because the damage output is just absolutely amazing. The solo bossing kit is fantastic. It has, of course, a built-in telly, has survivability, it has lifesteal, it has a built-in door, and overall the damage output on Nightwalker is phenomenal. It has a 90-second burst as well. The burst is lingering. It's going to go on for 60 seconds. Nightwalker is one of the best solo bossers in the game currently, and the reason why I put it at number 1 is because of the simplicity to play for how strong the class currently is. I think the fluidity is amazing, and I think it is one of the best champion burns in Maplestory. Now, again, this video is strictly for end game related content. This is not that feasible for newer players. So if you're watching this video and you're like, whoa, my main can't even do hard lotus right now, don't worry about it. This is just for the future and maybe something to think about. This isn't coming to GMS as well for the next 6 months, so we have a lot of time to prep and think about stuff. Just kind of wanted to make this video because it's fun to talk about. I would love to hear what your guys' top 5 champion burns that you're thinking of potentially making in the future. Definitely would like to make another video explaining champion burns even further, so if you guys want to see that, let us know down in the comment sections below. As always, we guys have a great rest of your day. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.